welcome to the Flagrant 3 podcast. We are back. It is myself, Mr. Feeling Too Good. Got with me on my right, the big M unit, Michael Lokeman. What's going on, my bro?
What's going on, bro? You good?
Chilling. We are getting this done. We're going to get this done today because if you're not from England, you don't know, but it's fucking coming home.
It is coming.
It is coming home, and we are talking about 55 years in the making. We are talking about football or soccer, and it's coming home. We're going to win the Euros tonight.
Celebrate hard.
Yeah,
and then watch the next game in this Bucks Phoenix series in a blurry state. That's the situation.
In a state of trance, hopefully. But what do you think about the game so far, bro? 2-0 hole that the Bucks are in.
I'm not surprised, personally. So I think it's what you'd expect in a finals. The home team will win the home games. And I think as long as the Bucks don't slip up in their home, then I think it's as expected. You know, all finals should go 5, 6, 7 games.
You hope so, yeah.
Well, you'd hope so. And I think there's enough being seen to see that there's going to be some adjustments made. You need to imagine as well that the amount of fans Phoenix had in that arena is something that no NBA player has been in front of for a long time. So a bit more hostility, which is fantastic to see. A bit more nerves, finals, game one. A lot of guys haven't been in this situation. Well, none of them have been in this situation, really.
Yeah, Jay Crowder the only one.
So, yeah, I assume nerves probably got the best of it. So, yeah, it's an interesting scenario, but game's been close.
Yeah, games have been close. It has been good. I agree. I think some nerves, but again, as we discussed in last week's podcast, Phoenix Suns just play Phoenix Suns basketball and they win in whatever way they need to win. And obviously game one, first quarter, I was watching the first quarter and Devin Booker was going off, and I thought, here he goes, Kobe Mamba mentality is cracking out game one, he's going to go off, and he didn't. He didn't go off. He had a good game. He had a great game, but Chris Paul took over. And, as we said last week, they don't necessarily need one guy to take over the game, to win the game. And that's why I think the Phoenix Suns are going to pull this out.
Still confident with the Phoenix Suns?
I am still confident with the Phoenix Suns. I still hope it goes to 6 because, as you said earlier, everybody wants a final that goes 5, 6, 7 games.
No, you don't want to sweep. No, of
Nah,
course.
nobody wants to sweep in the finals. It's the most boring playoffs as it is, let alone with a sweep. But
do you know what the funny thing is, right? People can't be pleased because everyone was saying, "Oh, I'm getting sick to death of seeing LeBron versus the Warriors or LeBron versus Steph Curry." And now, for the first year in a long time, we've got 2 completely different teams, and now everyone's saying the same thing. Oh, it's just not the same, is it? It's just boring.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well,
yeah, no, I do agree. I do agree with you there. Yeah, I do agree with you. It's good, and it's exciting in the sense that we're getting we're going to get a new champion regardless. But in a similar turn, on the flip side, is it that good? Being that this is probably more than likely going to be a one-off for either team.
Yeah, likely. But I think also, as we discussed a few weeks back, there is a tide changing in the NBA.
Yeah,
a lot
young
more
talent.
Yeah, younger talent, a lot more complete teams as well. Now, obviously, a lot more of the younger draft picks are finding their feet in the actual league whilst getting new talent. I think that you will find a lot of different teams getting to the finals moving forward. Didnt will probably have a finals coming up in the next few years, getting to that position. Then you've got people around him like Jason Tatum's going to be working for it, the Boston Celtics, as long as they get the right pieces. So you've got a lot of people coming into their primes, which is exciting for basketball because, like you're seeing at the moment, you've got Giannis in his prime, Devin Booker having a breakout season, and they're in the finals right now. And although it's not matching the hype in terms of they're not really well-rounded, basketball-focused states, that you got to
small markets.
You've got to appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah. I completely agree. And obviously it highlights the smaller markets, especially with teams like Atlanta making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and obviously the Clippers being the smaller market in LA, making it to the Western Conference Finals. It's kind of good for the smaller markets and could attract, especially for the Phoenix Suns, could attract some off-season attention.
Yeah. So let's focus on game one then a little bit more in-depthly. What do you think either worked really well for the Phoenix Suns or didn't work so well for the Bucks? What would you say it was?
I think it just worked well for the Phoenix Suns. Their ball movement is phenomenal. Chris Paul controls the floor on both ends. You know, everybody knows their role on that team, and that's why I think they are so good. You know, obviously in previous episodes I've said that they've faced weaker teams, so does that make them look better than they are? But now they're facing the only full health team left in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they have been close games, and I do think it is home court advantage played a massive role in their wins, but they still look brilliant. I mean, game one, other than Drew Holiday, everybody on the Bucks played pretty solidly. Drew Holiday's, you know, he has had struggles all postseason, and he sort of found a rhythm coming out of the Eastern Conference, and now he's back into a slump. Do you feel he could be a factor if he finds his feet in these next two games?
Yeah, but not necessarily in the offensive end. I think they need to really focus up defensively. For example, game one, 6 players in double digits, and that's unheard of, especially for a Phoenix team that aren't necessarily that deep. You know, a lot of it goes through their starting 5. You know, the next game afterwards, 3 of them dropped over 20 points. That's probably what you more expect. But in that first game, you could say there might have been a bit of nerves incorporated. You could say that, you know, they're feeling each other out, getting to know the game plan. But if 6 members of the Phoenix Suns are dropping double digits, it's really tongue twister, that one. You know, you're going to have issues. You're going to have real problems, and you have to focus on the defensive end, because if you look at DeAndre Ayton, for example, he's their only big on Phoenix, realistically. Okay, you got Saric in the background, but realistically, you got DeAndre Ayton as a big.
Yeah.
22-19. 22 points, 19 rebounds. Now, you should be, as soon as the ball goes up in the air...
Which Devin Booker wasn't happy about. He was about to get a 2020 game, and Chris Paul locked that last rebound.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the thing. As soon as that ball goes up, and you have the advantage of getting rebounds both offensively and defensively. Lopez, Giannis should be battling for the boards. You know, Tucker can get in amongst the mixer. And I think that they're kind of coming back to an adjustment, because you see where the last 2 games before the actual fun started, where Giannis wasn't involved in the team, they clicked and gelled really
flowed,
well. And as soon as Giannis comes back into the team, again, they go out of rhythm. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing Giannis, and don't get me wrong, game 2, he did it really well, getting to the actual paint and doing what he needs to do. But then you saw that affect Brook Lopez's points and his productivity. Yeah. And what you need is, you need to get, if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, what Phoenix have, and that's a real symmetry in your starting lineup. And then obviously what you need to get in the reserves.
In the 2 or 3 reserves,
Yeah, so I think they need to find a way where it benefits absolutely everyone on that team. Drew Holiday, he doesn't. When Giannis in the team, what does he actually contribute right now? You need to look at yourself and go, what am I doing that's benefiting? Because Giannis brings the ball up, you know, 50% of the time. If it's not him, then Chris Middleton will bring it up. So you're not bringing that playmaker that Chris Paul is for the Phoenix Suns. You need to focus more on defensively, because at the moment Chris is absolutely destroying your team. Yeah. Fight over screens. Don't let him switch out on Brook Lopez. No. Because Lopez is getting absolutely worked on.
The standard NBA switching, knowing it.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, your elite guards, stop allowing really weak screens to just, you know, I've not seen one fight over a screen from Drew Holiday yet. I think their mechanism is, a screen's taking place, we're going to switch out.
Yeah.
But then that's what Chris Paul wants. That's what
exactly.
Devin Booker wants.
Because they're going to go at whoever they're switching for, and they're doing it for that reason.
And the lobs, you know, they switch out, and if for some reason they do step up on Chris, there's a lob there, and who's guarding him? Drew Holiday.
Yeah, exactly.
Mismatches and
DeAndre Ayton.
Phoenix are so great.
Easy work.
Phoenix are doing a really good job of identifying those mismatches.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously now with Saric out. You know, torn ACL, whatever it is. DeAndre Ayton, really. Torrey Craig out as well?
Torrey Craig's out still, yeah.
How do you feel? I mean, if I'm the Bucks, I'm going aggressive. I'm going at DeAndre Ayton and getting him out of the game.
Yeah.
And once he's out of the game, it's easy, surely.
Yeah, it's not even that. I would even do things like full court press Chris Paul. I would really get physical with Devin Booker, because you haven't got much coming off the bench anymore. So if you can fatigue that starting 5 as much as you can by playing really tough, then you're going to see a lot more missed shots. Do you know, a lot more mistakes.
I do get you, but in the same sense, it's coming at the cost of your own fatigue, isn't it? If Drew Holiday's, you know, I mean, what's he averaging? 40 minutes a game? If he's 40 minutes a game full court press on one of the best point guards to ever play the game, it's gonna appear on him that he's fatigued.
But you've got more rotation options. So if you're taking away the productivity on the offensive end from Drew Holiday, let's say, for example, and you play through Lopez, Giannis and Chris Middleton, then you can switch out Drew Holiday for Jeff Teague a lot more and just run the floor.
Forbes,
yeah, you got Pat Connaughton to come in and literally just run the floor. I don't want Pat Connaughton, if I'm a Buck, shooting and being the main shooting option, because, you know, I want them to run the floor, keep pressing, make them a bit more fatigued, and then at the end of the day, they'll start fouling more as well, because when Giannis drives, they're going to be tired. They're going to draw fouls.
They're going to be slower,
That's what I think you have to do. You have to look at it and go, my asset right now for the Bucks is depth. I've got depth. Suns technically haven't got as much depth as they came into it with. So utilise that.
Yeah.
Run. Even if it's short breaks, take Joe Holiday out for 2 minutes at a time and then bring him back in and just make him a little bit more fresher. But you've got legs.
Yeah, I do agree.
A lot of legs. And plus you've got home court advantage coming up.
Yeah, I think home court advantage is going to play a massive role, though you pointing out that, you know, with Giannis on the floor, the Bucks aren't flowing as well. If he's dropping 42 at home, I feel the others are going to pick up the slack as well. And we all saw the clip of him going sick in the timeout, trying to get his team in the game.
Love that from him, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's showing a true leader. You know, obviously they come up short by 10.
The thing that's annoying about that as well is they did exchange the lead multiple times throughout that game. You know, that was Bucks' opportunity to take a 1-1 into the home court, right? And at the end of the day, they choked it a little bit. They brought it back into, I think they were down by 20 at one point, 16-20 at one point. They brought it all the way back into down by 6, and then it explodes back up to 18.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well, you literally had them in the grasp of your hand, and because of some sloppy offense, you transition to easy buckets for the Phoenix, and then you put yourself in this hole in the fourth quarter where you're back to where you started and you did all that hard work.
Then you're chasing buckets. Yeah,
and it's because they got into this real good clicking motion when they were doing their offense, and then all of a sudden it just didn't go down. You know, they missed a couple of shots, head started to drop a little bit, no doubt, because obviously they thought that's an opportunity, and then you can't do that in the finals. The Phoenix Suns, whoever, not even just Phoenix Suns, any team will punish you if you're sloppy.
Yeah.
At any point in the game.
In this league for sure, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
In today's league, yeah.
In today's league, yeah.
Now I do want to point out, game 2, the Milwaukee Bucks, only 3 players shot free throws. I think that's terrible, personally. I think a free throw is the easiest point you're going to get, and everybody should be taking it to the hole, especially, you know, they are so small, with only DeAndre Ayton in the centre. And then, yes, DeAndre Ayton is a great centre, but take it to him. It doesn't matter who's there. And, you know, you just... Brook Lopez can pull him out as well. Like, I feel like only... Actually, what you could say is it's great defence from the Suns. Do you feel it's great defence from the Suns, or it's a lack of effort from the Bucks?
I think it's lack of effort from the Bucks. I don't think Bucks have identified where they can hurt Phoenix yet. You know, they've tried shooting 3-point shots in game 1. It didn't work. They then rolled that back a little bit in game 2. They tried attacking the paint. It worked, but it seemed like it was only working for Giannis.
Yeah.
And you're quite right. DeAndre Ayton is one man. And Brook Lopez shot 2 free throws in that game 2. 2 free throws.
They didn't shoot any free throws. Brook Lopez didn't shoot any free throws in game 2.
Well, he didn't even have it there.
You got Giannis, obviously, getting hacked. He had 42. He shot 18 free throws. Yeah, you know, it's hacker Giannis, isn't it? Drew Holiday shot 3 free throws, and Jeff Teague off the bench shooting 2 free throws. Now you've got 5 free throws between what we got, 10-man rotation.
Yeah. Anyone outside of Giannis, basically.
You've got 5 free throws outside of Giannis for a 10-man rotation.
Yeah.
I just think, and for people like PJ Tucker who play inside, Chris Middleton, obviously very strong going to the hole, is terrible. I think that's terrible.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, you got good free throw shooters on your team. Chris Middleton, a fantastic free throw shooter. Brooke Lopez, for a big man, a great free throw shooter.
Very good.
You need to be absolutely attacking that paint 9 times out of 10. And if you get called for a charge, you get called for a charge. But it's a 50-50 gamble, isn't it? And likelihood it goes in your favour. So if you can get...
Protect the shooter and all that stuff.
Yeah, if you can get, though, DeAndre Ayton into foul trouble, then that's something less you have to worry about, isn't it? It's a big off the floor, and you can start going to it more, because then the smaller guys, like your Devin Bookers and your Mikal Bridges and stuff like that, will have to foul you, because Giannis, they're not going to block Giannis cleanly, are they? Let's face it. No. They're going to have to hack him, and they will hack him because they think he's not going to shoot free throws. Yeah. But every single hack they take is an extra foul.
On their sheet, exactly.
On their sheet.
That's what you want. And, Giannis getting to the free throw line 18 times is even more reason to go at them, because the more fouls they rack up, the easier the points become, right?
Exactly.
As soon as they've hit 5 fouls in a quarter, it's guaranteed points. But obviously, if Giannis is shooting them, but for most other players, you're getting points on the board.
Well, you're getting points on the board, yeah. But you look at the fouls that were being generated. DeAndre Ayton, for a finals, 4 fouls.
Yeah.
Do you know, 4 fouls? He should be in closer foul trouble than that. You can't sit there and go, we really attacked the paint. Giannis had 42 points, but we only shot 5 free throws off the back of him.
Yeah, exactly.
See what I mean? No one else is being aggressive enough, and it might even go back to the point that because Giannis is back into that team, everyone's spreading the floor, so they want to shoot threes more. But you have to keep attacking. I'm sorry, you're not going to get anywhere if you're not driving to the basket, if you're not at least asking the question and forcing the issue. And if it doesn't work for you in the first quarter, then look around. But if you can get DeAndre Ayton even on 2 fouls in that first 12 minutes, it then causes an issue for the rest of that half for the Phoenix Suns.
Absolutely.
And it opens up an opportunity for you to then at least build a lead.
Yeah.
Right? Because he will have to sit.
Yeah.
You can't not.
Yeah. You can't risk DeAndre Ayton with nobody really to back him up.
Exactly.
So that's a great point. And I think moving into Game 3 tonight, I think if the Milwaukee Bucks figure it out, obviously this is going to be the biggest test for the Phoenix Suns this postseason. I think coming into Milwaukee and trying to get a win. If the Milwaukee Bucks figure it out tonight and they snatch Game 4 as well, will that momentum? Do you feel that momentum could carry them through to take one in Phoenix? Bearing in mind they've only lost twice this postseason at home.
I think it will, because if you look back at the Brooklyn series, again, a real tough series for them to fight against, and they do overcome tougher matchups.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
It's not the first hole they've come out of.
Exactly. It's not the first time their back's been against the wall when people have been sitting there going, oh, the Milwaukee Bucks might choke again. They've been in this situation before. What they haven't been in is this situation in the finals. Now, it can go one or two ways. It can go Game 3, they come out really hot. It all depends on that first quarter shooting, I think. For people like Chris Middleton and people like Drew Holiday who have to be hot and feeling it, if their first few shots are dropping, I think they get confidence and they go, right, this is our game. The crowd get behind them. It's going to go really strongly. If they come out and miss their first few shots and the defense is sloppy and, they sort of take a little bit of a lead in that first quarter, how do the Milwaukee Bucks fans react to that? First of all, because you could be in the sense of seeing your team go 3-0 down in the finals and you're not going to be swept. So, and then again, it goes down to people like Giannis. How do you roll your team up? How do you turn around and say, well, I dropped 42 points for you last game. How are you going to back me up?
How are you going to help me? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think this is the time for him to come out as a leader of the team. Really put on his back and say, you boys have got to fucking get in this game.
Yeah. You can't have... What Giannis needs to do is have a conversation with the 3 other people who he can rely on in that team, supposedly, Drew Holiday, Lopez, Milton, and go around and say, who's going to be that second option now?
Yeah.
Because Chris Middleton is an NBA All-Star.
Yes,
on paper,
absolutely,
right? Yeah. But if he's only going to be hot for one quarter, and you don't know when that quarter's going to come, it's not good enough.
There's no help, is it? And it's not only that, they haven't got the help that... the Suns have got off the bench. I mean, you get big games out of Suns bench players. You're getting good games out of Cameron Payne. As you said, you had 6 players in double digits in Game 1. Cameron Johnson playing well, Cameron Payne playing well. Your lesser players like Mikal Bridges, obviously he's a starter, playing brilliantly. in the finals. They're all new to this. You know, they're all new to this. Everybody's got the same excuse. So technically it isn't one. You get what I'm saying. Everybody's new to this final, so
you can't turn around. Bucks can't turn around and say, "Oh, yeah, but it's our first finals appearance."
The pressure. No, there's no pressure.
And in full fairness, you probably look at it and go, "Well, Phoenix probably in that regard have more pressure because this could be Chris Paul's last chance to have a finals appearance."
Yeah.
So he's also sitting there thinking, "Well, this could be it. I might not get another finals appearance. I've gone X amount of years in my career and not got to this point yet. I'm now here."
More pressure.
I don't want to mess this up.
Yeah.
And then you got the players around him who are young going, I don't want to mess it up for you as well, because it seemed like all the media and all the press conferences, everyone absolutely idolises Chris Paul in their team.
Yeah.
So they're not going to want to mess it up for him either.
Apart from James Harden.
Well, but then you look at the Bucks, they're all young, they've all got multiple years left in them.
Yeah.
Okay, so they could get to this point again. But do you want to take that risk?
No, they're not going to, want they? Because there's, as we alluded to earlier, there's a good chance that neither of these teams make the finals again.
Exactly.
Especially with some, there's potentially some big off-season moves on the cards. Power shifts could come with one or two big players moving elsewhere.
Yeah. And I know people could turn around and say, "Oh yeah, Giannis will make another finals again." But think about this logically. He's not a complete basketball player.
No.
He's a one dimension, and I know he's trying to work on his 3-point shot, but if you've watched any of his games and if you follow Giannis, the form is not there.
No.
Okay, it's very slow. It's the guy is trying to work on his free throwing routines. Again, he builds pressure on himself because the slow actual form that he has builds pressure because the crowd get into it.
Yeah, that's it.
And it gets behind you. And, you can turn around and say, "Oh, he's a professional basketball player. He's not meant to be put off by crowds." He's also human.
He has come out and said he hears it.
Yeah,
he has come out in a press conference and said he hears it.
You've got multiple thousands of fans screaming and counting you down.
Especially Phoenix Suns fans. They don't seem like the most tasteful fans.
Exactly. But if you're at the line and someone's counting your shot, you're going to rush.
No disrespect, Phoenix Suns fans.
No disrespect. But you're going to count. You're going to rush your shot a little bit. You're going to miss more than you have to. So I know he's working his game, but he's one-dimensional. So will he get to this point again? I don't think with this current Bucks team, because you say there's going to be a lot of off-season moves. Yeah. A lot of obviously changes. A lot of people coming back from injuries as well.
Full strength Brooklyn squad.
Yeah, full strength. Jaylen Brown's going to come back to Boston and be healthy.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward. So there's going to be a lot more dynamics next year. So this is Bucks' best chance. Giannis is probably best chance.
Yeah.
Unless he goes off and forms a super team.
Yeah. I mean, if they don't deliver for him, that could well happen. Again, small market problems, isn't it? You're not drawing anybody in.
You're not drawing anyone in. And there's been, historically, he has been linked to people like the Lakers and places where like that. And he's come out and said historically, I would love to play in a big market. But he's also
who doesn't
loyal.
Want to be the face of a major city?
Yeah, exactly. But he's loyal to the Bucks. But when does loyalty?
So was Dame Lillard.
Exactly.
Keyword being was.
Exactly.
Because he's off skis.
Because if you're not going to achieve anything, what's the point of being loyal if your goal is to achieve championships?
Exactly. And that is what every basketball player's goal should be.
Yeah. Well, the good ones anyway.
Yeah, the great ones. So we'll wrap that up here. Let's do a quick prediction. So they're in a 2-0 hole. The Bucks are in a 2-0 hole. Where do you see it going?
Bucks take tonight.
Yep.
Depending on how that goes, they also take Game 4. I think the Bucks are renowned for at home dominating games. So I think if they win by 20, let's say if they really shut down Phoenix and get it all clicking and figured out, they'll take Game 4, and I can see it playing out and going to 6. I reckon it's hard to tell. Yourself?
Hard to tell either way. I was actually going to say exactly the same thing. I believe that the Bucks take a strong win tonight. 15 plus.
That's what Bucks need to do. The Bucks need to, in some sense, embarrass Phoenix.
Yeah.
They need to send a message to say, we're not out of this, and we're actually a really good team.
Yeah, and I know they've had 3 days off. Is it 3 days? Yeah, Thursday
3 days.
Played. Yeah. So they've had 3 days off now, but obviously they've travelled across the country. Now it's all right for the Bucks because they're going home.
Yeah,
they travelled across the country for the first 2 games, but this is the first time the Suns are travelling across the United States of America, and that could take its toll too. So it will be interesting to see. I think the Bucks take tonight, as you said, they're gonna take a big win. If they take a big win and put that work in, I'll see them taking Game 4.
And it makes that Phoenix game really interesting.
It does make that Phoenix game really interesting. I did say Suns in 6. I'm going to stick with it because I said it. But that is the only reason. I do want it to get a bit more interesting. You know, there have been close games, but
I don't want to see.
I don't want to see a 3-0 hole.
I don't want to see a 3-0 because it's just then waiting on the inevitable. Whereas
it's almost not worth watching. The rest of the series almost.
Exactly. Then 2-1, it makes it a lot more interesting. And then, as a British fan, I'll probably then want to wake up more to watch the game live as opposed to. It's probably going to,
It's probably going to be over less than I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, exactly.
Just watch the highlights the next day.
I'll watch it or skip it in the morning.
Yeah.
Troubles of a British fan, eh?
All right, so shall we move on to our good friend Snaz, who can't be here tonight, who's done a little dunk to deny for us. So let's get into that and see what he's got to say for himself. So he says, we'll move on to this in a second, but after the loss to Nigeria yesterday, do you think the Team USA are favourites to take home the gold in the Olympics?
Yes. Very easy. The loss to Nigeria is a hiccup, definitely. This USA team isn't as strong as it has been in the previous Olympics, obviously. But if you look at the teams around them and who they're going to be facing, the 12 teams that have actually qualified, you can't sit there and go, there's going to be too many issues.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Do you know
I'm gonna go dunked as well. Like I do think they're the favourites. Me personally, I think a lot of the superstars that are playing, KD, Dame Lillard, they're risking a lot going to the Olympics, being that the season's not long ended for them guys, and obviously it's starting again in October. You know, it's not a long break.
No.
They've obviously had the COVID year where it was a shortened, more compact 72 game season, and a lesser off season from the previous year. So I do think they're risking it there.
Also, you have to imagine as well and think about that they haven't got stars that are still playing in the finals right now. They haven't got Devin Booker. He's not in that team yet.
Nah.
And he'll join up. Chris Middleton. Drew Holiday's in that USA team as well. So those are 3 players they're missing right now. Okay, you probably
have they said they're going to play?
Yeah, they've committed. It's in their roster. But you can't turn around and say, right, Drew Holiday and Middleton are probably going to be the biggest impact players. But Devin Booker, as soon as you put him into that lineup, massive impact player. And this is what this USA team misses a lot. You've got Kevin Durant, who's your focal superstar.
Yeah.
But you're missing people like your Steph Curry's, your LeBron Jameses.
You're through and through leaders.
Through and through leaders who will take you when it's going to get tough, and it will get tough in the Olympics. And you've got people like Kevin Love, who barely played for Cleveland this year.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's a real mismatched team that I've not seen.
It's an odd team.
It's not, there's some names in here. Bradley Beal, he always gets overlooked. I think he's fantastic, so I'm glad he's in there. But if you look at the roster and you pull some of the names out who they're taking, and you think, right, so Draymond Green. Yeah.
He's probably there to be the leading voice.
Exactly, thank you. Jason Tatum's fantastic. Then you've got people like Drew Holiday. Now, I've got nothing against Drew Holiday. Is he probably one of the best people out of the USA roster they could have taken right now? No, probably not. Okay. Jeremy Grant?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm a bit stumped with that one.
Yeah.
Bam, obviously being young. A young player.
Leader, yeah. But Kevin Love,
I think a lot of these people.
I think Kevin Love should quit NBA and just play the Olympics for the rest of his career now, because he just doesn't play in the NBA for Cleveland. It's like, well, how can you be unhealthy the whole year and then turn around and say, yeah, I'll be good to go for a couple of games in the Olympics?
Yeah. I feel you.
You can't do that.
And I think as well with obviously them losing to Nigeria, it was an exhibition game under different rules than the majority of the players are used to, being the FIBA World Basketball rules. Short and 3-point line should really work in their favour.
Oh yeah, long twos.
Yeah, long twos to them. It's like an extended free throw. You know, things like the offensive interference. You know, that should work in their favour. They put back everything. As soon as it touches the rim, it's a putback dunk for the majority of them, surely. You know, you'd think that these FIBA rules would work in their favour, but maybe it just takes some adjusting.
Well, the one they really struggle with is the travel rule.
Yeah,
because obviously the travel rules.
Yeah, we call it.
Yeah, we call travels.
We call travels. Yeah,
we don't allow that extra step, that highlight dunk. No, we've got to actually get pulled up on things.
Yeah.
So, but I think the only teams that are really going to cause them any trouble in the Olympics are Spain, always really consistent and really good basketball team. Nigeria do look good. I don't think they're going to be too much of an issue, but they do look good. Slovenia.
Yeah.
Doncic.
Yeah, exactly.
They're a good team, but it could be a one-man band.
Yeah.
And apart from that, you're looking about it and you're going, look, Czech Republic, no real issues. Argentina, no real issues. Australia, got a couple of NBA players, but
ex-NBA players.
Yeah, not really. Got Paddy Mills and the Deladovas and the
hit game winner last night, Paddy Mills.
I saw that. Yeah,
yeah, sick man. Yeah, that was really good.
Really good shot. France is in there. Germany, I don't think there's any decent German players
worth mentioning.
No. Then you got Japan, obviously the hosts.
Yeah.
We've got, what was his name? Rui Hachimura from the Wizards. Yeah, he's in there for Japan. But apart from that, you've got to sit there and go, well, it should be another easy medal.
Should be, but we'll see. So you're going dunked.
I'm going dunked, yeah.
I'm going denied. So next up, should the finals MVP be available to the best player in the series and not necessarily from the team that wins? I'm going to shut this one down.
Yeah.
Absolutely denied.
Yeah.
It's only happened once and it should never happen again. I think it was 1976. It was the last time it happened. Obviously, in the 2015 playoffs, I think, personally, everybody said it was LeBron. Andre Iguodala got it. It was LeBron was the best player in the finals. He come out publicly in the press conference after game 2 or 3. No, 3 or 4, and said he wouldn't accept it. And I believe that's the reason he didn't get it.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely right. I think if you're on a losing team, if me personally, I was the best player on a losing team and they was like, you're the MVP of this game or this series, here's your trophy, I'd be like, go and put that shit in the bin.
Yeah.
Trash. Go and put that shit in the trash can.
The worst consolation prize you could ever get.
Yeah.
That's like, it's
more of a slap in the face.
Yeah, it goes 2 ways, doesn't it? So as a player, you don't want to be the best person who didn't achieve anything.
Yeah.
Like, great, thanks for my loss.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's like the actual MVP of the regular season. You cannot give MVP to a losing record team.
No.
And
if your team's not making the playoffs, you can't.
You can't give the best player in the team.
You're not the best player. Yeah, you're not the best player if you've not given your team a chance to win it all.
And that's what it's exactly the same principle, right? You're right to shut this one down. No, if you are the best player in that court, you'd be winning.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, let me put this to you though. Let me take this question, this dunk to denied, and I'm going to tweak it. Now, should it ever happen, it comes down to game 7, and it is a game-winning shot. It's a game-winning shot that decides it. So it's a 2 or 3 point win, or 1 or 2 point win. It's a game-winning shot that for the chip, which would be absolutely phenomenal to watch. Imagine watching that. Imagine watching like Game 7 of the Bucks and the Nets, for the championship. That'd be insane. But say that happens. Do you change your mind? Do you feel that there is a chance that the loser could?
No, give it to the person that makes the shot.
Yeah, true. Yeah, very true.
You just made the most important shot of your career in the whole basketball season. Yeah, give it to that guy.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, that's fair. All right, so we're both going denied with that.
Both going denied.
BS. All right. Going into next season, obviously the Suns are dominating at home. They've only lost 2 games in the postseason. Going into next season, do you feel Phoenix is going to be the hardest place to get a win?
Not at all. Not at all. As we sort of highlighted earlier, Phoenix is a very small market basketball team, and I think there'll be a little bit of hype if they do win a championship, and a lot of fans going, "Oh yeah, we got a title." 12 games into the season, we'll probably just go back to normal. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, again, as we alluded earlier, there could be some big off-season moves happening. Shifting of power. Obviously, this year the best home team was Utah Jazz. They got knocked out. It's not. They've been the best in the postseason, but Nah, I'm going denied.
Do I think the Phoenix Suns arenas will be a lot more harder to play in than the Boston Garden? Nope. No. Do I think it's going to be hard to play in than the Staples Center? No. Absolutely not. So, no.
For the Lakers, anyways. Not for the Clippers.
Well, yeah, there's that to it. There's this thing where you go, right, if we win something, it's going to be hype for a week, but it goes back to normality afterwards. And that's going to be the same principle. They'll celebrate it like it's a championship, which it is, but then come the start of the regular season again, it'll just go back to BAU, business as usual, and you'll just sit there going,
I like that.
And it'll just be like, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Go do it again. And if you do get there again, then maybe we'll turn up.
Yeah.
Did you see?
And power shift, like I say, power shifts as well could change it all.
Chris Paul might not even be there next year.
Well, this is the thing, and obviously DeAndre Ayton's contract here now. They should obviously sign him to a max deal, but I guess it's whether they can afford it. I haven't looked at the numbers to see whether they can. I'm sure they will.
Big game for tourism. They'll probably get a lot more tourists going to Phoenix for a winning championship.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, probably sold out home games every night.
Yeah, but that's like, you see, going back to like football terminologies, Man United, for example, they win championships, but if you go to their ground now, people will say, oh, it's not how it used to be. There's a lot more tourism, there's a lot more attraction to it.
Yeah.
So as you put a championship to your name, you do get a lot more tourists. You do get a lot more people coming to see what the big fuss is about, for example. I would personally never sit here and gone, let's go on a holiday to Phoenix. As a basketball fan, if they win a championship, though, I might go, oh, Phoenix are doing all right. Oh, Devin Booker this, Devin Booker that. Let's go Phoenix.
Yeah. Oh, let's go Vegas, and we'll just take a trip up to Arizona and watch the Suns one night. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm down for that. Yeah, I'll fucks with that. That's just what our boy Brench, aka Snaz, has got for us. That's what we think of your questions, Snaz. I've got one I want to add from game one. Brook Lopez flagrant foul on Chris Paul 3. What do you think of that? Now, that's not a dunked as denied question, but...
So, it's a tough one because what more could Brook Lopez really do as a big guy trying to close out a little guy on the perimeter? Do you know what I mean? It is tough. You're going to get landed on bits and pieces like that. I don't think it was malicious. I don't think he intended to do stuff like that or catch a flagrant.
It's bullshit, no. And this is what annoys me about this NBA today is it's not a flagrant foul, man. Yes, I'm all for protecting the shooter, especially people that step under players.
Intentionally
step under players. There's a huge difference. Now, as you say, Brook Lopez is a 7-footer. He doesn't have the body control that a 6'2" guard that would usually be guarding Chris Paul.
Yeah, it's probably got like a size 26 foot as well. Like, you know what I mean? If we sit on the 3-point line, he's going to stand underneath him.
Yeah, exactly. So. I mean...
But what can you ask him to do? Not contest the shot? Do you know? And people like Chris Paul and Devin Booker and people that do shoot these threes have a tendency of jumping forward anyway.
And I have heard that this is going to stop. If you have an unnatural movement in your shot... You'll be charged for the foul. So these James Hardens kick their legs out, etc.
Yeah,
they're going to start getting charged for the foul, which you've seen a little bit this season, I think. But
then that doesn't make sense, right? Because then it doesn't go from protecting the player if you're damaging yourself. So it's the same injury, it's the same risk, right? You're going to land on someone's foot, turn an ankle, whatever you're going to do. So at what point does a ref go, "Oh, yeah, it's your fault," but then I still turned my ankle?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
But so a lot of these players, I think there was actually one clip this postseason where James Harden actually didn't even try and land on his feet. He stuck his legs out that much that he just went straight to his arse.
Yeah.
Which is mad. But then if you remember, I don't know how much you watched Iverson, his legs naturally leant out.
Leant out forwards, yeah. I remember his shot very, very well.
Yeah, and obviously, so I think when the NBA investigate these things, they've got to get familiar with people's natural shot. I don't think there's many people that shoot like Iverson, or any people that shoot like Iverson, but his feet did naturally seep out. But the people nowadays, like Steph's, James Harden's, even KD, you'll see it every now and again, sticking a leg out is dog shit.
Yeah, no. And this is the whole matter of fact. And it's like, everyone's got a different shooting motion. So at what point does the ref turn around and go, well, that's natural and that's not natural? Well, that could be natural. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's such a fine line to make a decision, and it's a really important decision as well for a flagrant to be assessed.
Yeah. I mean, the whole flagrant on Brook Lopez, I think, is bullshit. But natural movements change from, say, your Steph Curry's coming off a screen, catching and shooting instantly with the momentum going one direction, the body tries to counteract the direction that it's going, and he may get a kick out then. You know, you see it every now and again, which, you know, they've just got to be on the ball with it.
But that being said, I think across this whole 2 games so far, there have been some really soft calls as well, really questionable calls, and you need to. I think I say this every single year, and I think a lot of people do. It's the finals. Let them play. Yeah. Let them get physical. Let them get a little bit. You're going to want to get a little bit dirty. You're going to get a little bit aggressive in certain areas because it's just passion, isn't it? So unless you overstep a mark, just let them play it out until it gets too much.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
This is obviously, you know, we come to it last episode where people say, oh, you know, we want physical basketball back, and then we get physical basketball. We've had a couple of games in this postseason where it's been physical and the refs have let it play, and it's like, oh, this is dirty playing. You know, PJ Tucker can't guard KD like that. Yeah. Like, well, what do you want?
Yeah.
I like it, personally.
I love it. I think it's brilliant. I love seeing people getting physical with each other. You know, physicality in basketball is a contact sport. As many people who turn around and say, oh, basketball's not a contact sport. If you play basketball, it's is a contact sport.
Yeah, very physical.
Especially if you are big men, or if you are in the post, or if you are trying to stop people like Giannis, you're going to get fouled, you're going to get hit. Now, not everything's going to get called, but you have to expect it.
Yeah.
And that's
Zion.
Basketball. Yeah, exactly. And that's basketball. You have to be expecting to get a bit physical, and the refs have to allow it.
Yeah.
And unless it's stopping a clear opportunity, for example, you know, if you're going to go to a lane and someone's absolutely taking you out, 50-50 calls, can you not just let someone slide and rather than guess?
Yeah. Yeah. And then slow the game up because it has to be reviewed, etc., etc.
Mate, these reviews are doing my absolute nutting. I ain't gonna lie to you. Everything's gonna be spot on and perfect.
Yeah, and it's just it does take away from the flow of the game.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so have you got anything you want to
add? No, I think that's about it. It might be a bit of a shorter one today, guys, because obviously we said at the beginning, England are playing tonight.
That is the last question. We're going to move off of basketball. Ooh. What are you saying?
2-1 England.
Come on,
England.
Come on.
I'll tell you what, my missus said to me, we're going to get for dinner tonight while watching a game. She suggested pizza. I almost spat in her face, honestly. No Italian dishes are getting ordered to my house.
How dare she?
Italian dishes are getting ordered to my house. So, yeah, I'm going 2-1 England. I'm probably going to have a nice fish and chips or a nice English roast just to celebrate. Yes. Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to have a nice English Chinese.
So that's a debatable topic itself, but we won't get into that, I'll tell you. English Chinese?
I like that. England all the way. It's going to be a hard game.
Do you know what? There's a lot of similarities to it, though, compared to the NBA finals. It's everyone's first final appearance for England.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure, a lot of nerves, and it's a case of, well, England haven't got 7 games or 3 games to make it clear.
Do you know what? I did think about, imagine if it was like a best of 3.
Yeah.
You know, we win the first game, Italy win the second game or whatever. I just imagine the pressure.
Just imagine, but I think that would be great marketing for it because it will get a lot of more people behind it rather than 90 minutes and it's over, you won or you lost. Yeah. Take a note out of the NBA's books, make it a best of series and see what happens. But no, it's going to be a very nervy game. I'll be drinking it. I'll be watching it through
drink.
I
think we'll all have to get a bit.
But hopefully, yeah, it's coming home. It's
coming home.
It's coming home.
And Messi managed to get it done for Argentina after so much shit that he got for not winning the Copa America or taking Argentina to any wins. So if he can do it, mate, it's our time too.
Mate, it's a year of firsts.
Yeah, let's get it.
It's a year of firsts.
Let's get it. All right, so we're going to sign off there. It's coming home. Flagrant Free podcast every week. Football. It's the only time we're going to speak about it. Basketball, always. Peace out, yo.
Take it easy, guys.